Shiatsu massage therapist, and I help women who are narcissistic and toxic relationships find their way out. So today we're going to be talking about get your sexy back. So especially after sexual trauma. So typically we do this with Fanny, who is a sexual trauma coach, and she's been really wonderful. But for the time being, she's got some stuff going on in her life, and so we'll be looking for people who are also interested in co-hosting this with me. So if you are a coach, if you are someone that wants to help other women, then let me know, because we'll have you on as a guest to help co-host this. So maybe a group of guests or different people. So consider it. So today we're talking about how to get your sexy back after sexual trauma. So many women who are in narcissistic and codependent relationships end up with sexual trauma, end up with either in their childhood or in their marriage, because they're with someone who will take advantage of their good nature. They're with someone that will take advantage of the desire to please, or even of the fear that comes when you feel that pressure. Like, if I just give in, it'll be over and done. If I just give in, if I just tune out, if I just disassociate, then I can get through this and things will stay peaceful. So many women end up with lots of sexual trauma that they then bring into their relationship, and they aren't quite sure how to rewire or reverse what's going on. When I was a kid, I was very disconnected from my body, even though I'm a very sensual sort of person. I love food. I love the breeze in my hair. I love sunshine on my face. I'm someone who's very, very physical and very sensual. And because of that, it made no sense to me that whenever I thought about getting close to someone, being close to someone, my system would completely freak out. I'd come out of the shower and my husband would have a candle lit and my nervous system would go through the roof. And that happened because, not because of anything he did or didn't do, it's because I was reminded of a time when I felt helpless and I felt like my body wasn't mine and that I didn't have any control over it. So what are some of the questions, because I've worked with women through sexual trauma for a long time, what are some of the questions that they bring to me that I help them work through? One of the top ones that women ask is, how do I get myself reconnected to my body? How do I get myself to enjoy things that have to do with my senses? Here's a funny little side thing. You know, when someone has trauma as a child, they're more predisposed towards things like fibromyalgia or rheumatoid arthritis. And so even the idea of someone touching you, even the idea of something on your skin, of too much sensation on your skin, can make you feel anxious, uncomfortable, and freaked out. How are you supposed to get close to someone when even their touch makes your skin crawl? Or even the idea of their touch makes your skin crawl, even if the trauma happened a long time in the past. Now, as a massage therapist, I've helped a lot of women with that, because there's a sense of not feeling safe. There's a sense of being overstimulated, like the body's overstimulated. And if we'd never learned how to have good communication with someone that we're with, if we never learned how to get comfortable being in our bodies, then you might as well throw your sexy out the window, because sexuality and sexy has a lot to do with feeling sexy. It has a lot to do with being comfortable in your own skin. It has to do with the ability to enjoy the things happening around you, to enjoy touch, to enjoy human connection. And if all you've ever had was negative associations with touch, was ideas that someone's going to take advantage of you or pressure you or force you, like many people possibly have, especially if you're in a narcissistic relationship, then your skin, your actual skin, rebels and pushes people away. because you just can't stand to be close. I'm very careful. I'm very mindful when I meet someone that I don't just go in and hug people, because I know how sensitive we can all be, especially me. I never wanted strangers to come up and hug me. I don't care about the hug movement. I don't care that we touch everybody. It's not fair. It's not fair not to treat each other with respect. And if you're in a position where you've had any sort of sexual trauma, you were treated as if you were a piece of meat. You were treated as if who you were and what you wanted just didn't matter. So how do you get that back? How do you get that feeling of connection back? Well, the first thing is to start doing really nice things for yourself. Is to start doing things which make you feel good. Because right now, your body and your nervous system looks at the world as if it's the enemy, looks at other people as if they're the enemy. And we actually want to throw something and run away when they get too close. We physically want to crawl back into our skin and put up a barrier and run away, even if it's the most simple or innocent of touch, even if it's something like massage or body work. We're so not used to being touched. So it took me a long time. My husband happened to smell just like the person who had abused me. So that took me a really long time to overcome, to realize that how he smelled would not trigger me anymore. And I had to have these loving, positive, nurturing experiences. Now, he wasn't always able to give that because when we met, we were both in our 20s. And, he had his mindset about this is what relationships look like. And I had my mindset about this is what relationships look like. And trauma didn't enter into the picture. When you have trauma, there's a whole nother dynamic, and it's secret and no one talks about it. So you want to get comfortable being in your body. My favorite way are baths. My favorite ways are being out in the sunshine, letting the breeze and the warm sun on my face. In fact, I even got into massage therapy, Asian massage therapy, about 15 years ago now, because the only thing that would make me feel good was when I had something soft or gentle on my skin. I actually had to start changing my skin. And if you've got something like fibromyalgia or something like rheumatoid arthritis, just even the idea of something on your skin can really start to freak you out. So it has to start with being kind. One of my favorite tools is havening. If we need touch, if we need to feel connected, we can touch ourselves. I know that sounds weird, right? And I'm not talking about even touch that's sexual touch. It's caring, nurturing touch. So if you don't know what havening is, it's what people do when they're grieving. They rub and stroke your arms. When you rub and stroke your arms, it starts telling your body that you're safe and you can relax. Because if you don't feel safe, you're not going to be able to feel safe with anybody else. You're not going to be able to relax enough to enjoy having somebody near you. Now, a lot of women have sexual trauma in their past, believe it or not. Either it was childhood abuse, or whether it was rape, or whether it was date rape, or whether it was being forced by someone. And the idea of touch is almost repulsive because it's just such a strong reaction. That's why we have to take these baby steps. I wear soft clothes that feel good on my skin, and I make sure that I touch them regularly. I put soft pillows around and blankets so that I can start to enjoy the feeling of touch again. I even asked my husband for like the first 10 years of our marriage to fall asleep while I would lay next to him. I'd say, you just need to fall asleep. You just need to lay there and not say anything and let me get used to and let me get comfortable being near you. You have to start setting boundaries with people, even healthy people, because they don't know how to deal with women who've had sexual trauma. They don't know how to deal with women who love them but don't want them to be close. Now, if you're in a bad relationship, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, it's even harder because you have to get that love from someplace else. You have to get that love from yourself, or you have to get that love from friends or externally. Touch is a very real need, and if we don't get it, then we start to wiggle out. We start to go nuts. We're not able to handle the things that are happening because our very skin feels like it's crawling. So your homework assignment for today would be to do something that makes you feel good, something that's physical, something that is gentle, something that is caring and nurturing for yourself, because you actually have to rewire your nervous system. You have to go from feeling like you can't stand even the slightest breeze to feeling like, oh, that feels good. That feels good. Now, the next thing that women ask me is, okay, so I'm doing this touch, I'm taking baths, I'm doing these things, and I still feel like my skin is crawling. I still want to run away as fast as humanly possible in the other direction. So the next thing you need to look at is how you're going to layer things. When you want to enjoy touch, you have to make it an enjoyable experience. You have to make it an experience that you want to be a part of. If you're feeling like you're not enjoying it, then your experience isn't going to be very good. So look at candles, look at essential oils, look at music that you love. Take time every week or every day where you can be in a setting where you enjoy having your skin touched, when you enjoy smelling the things around you and engaging with the things around you in a way that makes you feel pleasure. Because pleasure is like a really dirty word. Pleasure is about feeling good. And if you were come from any sort of trauma, then pleasure is like the antithesis of how you feel. You have to rewire your system to enjoy pleasure. It takes a conscious effort. I take time every day where I just enjoy being present in the world, where I just enjoy having things around me, whether it's my colored lights or my beautiful fans or my great camera or the clothes that I wear. It's a conscious effort to start to love yourself. Because when you turn that love around, when you stop reacting to someone who's toxic and you turn that love around, what it does is it nourishes you. If you want to break out of your nervous system going haywire, it starts by feeding and watering and fertilizing and giving sunshine to you. It actually has to be a big mindset. It has to be a big shift in how you live your life, but it's not hard. It's about where you start looking to you and putting what you want first. And when you start doing things that make you feel sexy, that make you feel connected, that your senses love, that the smells you love and the softness of the skin you love, and the visuals you look at you love, and you let yourself have this be a relaxing experience, you get your sexy back. You get who you want to be back, because you're now not cut off from your body. You're now using your body to the full effect. You actually have a brain in your head, and you have a brain in your heart, and you have a brain in your gut. And when we're disconnected, when we're in our head all the time, obsessing and worrying and going round and round like a narcissist tends to do to us, then we're not feeling the beauty and the richness of life. I know you want to. I know you've been a very spiritual human being probably most of your life, but you haven't been able to really enjoy the gifts that we have. The gifts that are always around us, the gift even of breathing, of having the air come in and having the air come out. We're switching you from reacting to what's going on around you, instead to taking all your love and energy and support and giving it to you. Even if it's just 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 1 minute, that you take a break every couple hours, and for 1 minute, you do something that's pleasurable. You do something that makes your senses come alive. Maybe it's really good quality chocolate. Maybe it's clean, great water. Maybe it's going outside and seeing what the trees have to say about wisdom. Do you see how this is a mind shift? Do you see how this is a way we go from how we used to treat ourselves to how we treat ourselves now? Even when you're in a difficult situation, you can start to turn it around when you focus on how you feel. when you focus on your body. We've spent so much time from the neck up being disconnected and not paying attention because it's too scary to be in our body. And it's time to come back. So you get back in your body by doing things that make you feel good. You get back in your body by surrounding yourself with great sensory sorts of experiences. And once you start, you're never going to want to go back. You're never going to want to go back to where you felt touch-starved and desperate and anxious and frustrated. You never want to go back to that once you start understanding what self-love and self-respect really looks like. Self-love isn't some weird, creepy idea. Self-love is about taking all that love that you've been given to everybody else and to treat yourself with it. To take all those things that maybe a toxic person or narcissistic person has said about how you look or who you are and decide you don't want to live that way anymore. Maybe you've tried a few times already. Maybe you've tried a few times throughout your life to pull back from the brink, to save yourself, but it gets tiring. What's probably been missing is the right support and the right tools. They're out there, and we can help you start to turn that love around towards you. We can start you turning that love around and watching yourself grow. Because when you start using your whole body, not just your head, not just your obsessive thinking, but your whole self, when you start doing that, that's when things change in wild, crazy ways. As in, now you're authentic. Now you stand up to people. Now you have courage. Now you have authenticity. Now you have the ability to walk in the world in a really confident way. When you reclaim your sexuality and you reclaim your health and when you turn that back on yourself again, that's when you move forward. So today's going to be a short Get Your Sexy Back. And I will have a brand new co-host or a different co-host for next week. And we'll get this back on track. So for now, your homework assignment is do something that makes you feel really good. And if you start doing that every day, you'll start to notice that you feel sexier and more loving and more wonderful every second of every day. All right, I'm going to get going. Talk to you.